Washington Pod presents EARL Nightingale.
When I think of unsuccessful people, I think of those men and women who seem to be at the mercy of forces over which they seem helpless or uninterested in influencing. I was raised as a boy in such circumstances and came to know them well. During the so-called Great Depression of the 30s, I watched people who seemed helpless to do anything about their problems. Their most serious shortcoming was, of course, lack of education. They took their cues from those about them, which is the self-defeating cycle of the poor. They're always following the wrong group. Their teachers, the men and women with whom they talked and shared their misery, had no more useful information than they themselves had and couldn't help them. As I got older, about 12, I began to ask people questions about our situation and quickly discovered they knew no more than I did. They really didn't know anything at all beyond existing in the most reactive way. If someone gave them a job, they worked. If someone didn't, they didn't work. There was no attempt of any sort at autonomy. They followed each other in waves or schools as fish do. More than any other factor, perhaps, the unsuccessful person can usually be identified with a group. The unsuccessful person is at the mercy of events because the unsuccessful person plays that part. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, or it is God's will. Well, America was built on the Protestant ethic that goes, God helps those who help themselves. The successful person does things. The unsuccessful person has things done to him or her. The successful person seeks autonomy and makes his or her own plans and has the self-esteem and inner excitement and knowledge to know that those plans can be followed, barring a calamity over which he or she can exercise no control. The unsuccessful person tends to focus on the calamity or ride with the punches. The successful person gives, the unsuccessful person takes. But since we cannot reap more than we sow, the unsuccessful person, sowing little, reaps little. Have you ever heard someone say, I do no more than I'm paid to do? Sure, we all have. And that person has stuck himself in a no-win fix. Doing no more than he's paid to do, that man can never earn more than he's receiving, other than just cost of living raises. He is an unsuccessful man. He cannot give his children the kind of information and encouragement they need if they're to succeed. He can't give much of anything to anybody. He simply doesn't have anything to give, as long as he maintains his present attitude. His attitude has got him stuck in a corner, and until or unless something changes it, in that corner he's going to remain. There's nothing at all that unsuccessful people have or do that successful people do not have more of and do better. Unsuccessful people are not stronger or in better physical condition than successful people. They're not nearly as good parents, wives, or husbands. About the only thing you can say about the unsuccessful is, as the well-known saying has it, God must have loved them. He made so many of them.